The NFL season is now done and in the books, and it came on the heels of one of the worst Super Bowls ever. Where does Super Bowl 60 sit in the history of bad Super Bowls? And what did we take away from the season's final game? We'll discuss that and a whole lot more right now. This is Offside Sports. Welcome to another episode of Offside Sports, live from the Lofton Hunter Studios in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Check out their incredible lineup of portable speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. Thanks as always to Turf and Sons. For the turf we sit upon, Turf and Sons, San Diego's #1 choice for turf installation. Find them at turfandsons.com. Allison and Dave.
Hello.
Season's over. It's in the books, man. No more football. No more CJ Stubbs as well. He's over at.
I miss our baby.
I miss our baby. Getting ready for the baseball season and spring training and the World Baseball Classic, playing for Team Israel. So we wish him and his brother Garrett, and all the athletes who are participating, best of luck. But there's always that general light depression that sets in when the confetti goes off. One team has won the game. And all three of us are from the sports talk radio world. All three of us have 20 plus years in sports talk radio. And it was always, Dave, that, God, what are we going to talk about? Because now we're in kind of like that dead spot where you're forced to talk about NBA. You're forced to get a little deeper into college football. Pitchers and catchers are going to start reporting this week, but there's really NHL. There's really nothing going on until March Madness and the baseball season. And I literally would crawl into the parking lot going, I hate my life.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about?
Exactly.
It's such a weird lull. And even though there is NBA and there is hockey and college basketball,
exactly,
it's still a very strange lull in the sports world.
You feel it most on the first Sunday after the Super Bowl, right? That's when you feel it.
Yep.
And then you realize
you don't feel it the first Sunday after the playoff, after the conference championships. That's when I feel it. Before the week
because
before
I know
the Super
why.
Bowl.
I know what's going on. I just know there's a travel. There's coming up. There's going to be Super Bowl stuff we get excited about. For me, though, I'm telling you, February stinks. It's the worst sports month of the year by far. The NBA, they aren't even trying yet, right? They don't even try till after they don't try to after the All-Star game.
Right.
And then college basketball has turned into a mess because it's one and done. You don't get tied into these players. You wait for March Madness for the brackets to come out. But, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I don't watch college basketball the way I used to. I just remember in 2012, Jeremy Lin saved the month of February. And it was Jeremy Lin. Remember that? It was
Linsanity.
Linsanity.
Yeah.
And that was 1 year in my lifetime. I mean, it is bad. February is disappointing. And we're baseball fans on this show. And we talk a lot of baseball. But come on, we're talking about pitchers and catchers. I mean, it's insane. I can go to the park and watch guys play catch.
Don't insult CJ, who's not here to defend his
CJ,
profession.
You got to practice squatting? Okay.
No. Now that he's gone, let's make fun of him.
Yeah, what are we doing here? I mean, the thing is, he gets paid for it. We're watching it. What does it say about us? So, not having a football, Mike, to your point, it's extremely sad.
It is sad. Seattle wins Super Bowl 60, 29-13. Score wasn't even that close in this game. 5 field goals. Jason Myers, kicker for Seattle, a San Diego product, Southern California. So congratulations to him.
Close family friend of ours.
That's what
Jason Myers.
When you told me that, I was like, who don't you know?
No, it's so weird, though, that we're watching this game and going to know someone in the Super Bowl, let alone know a kid that you went to Christmas parties with since he was 8 years old.
Right.
That this little kid all of a sudden might win MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and
was the strangest thing.
And my boys played Pop Warner with Rashid Shaheed, on the Seahawks. So they played for years together, and then crosstown rivals in high school. So
it's just
good buddy.
It's bizarre.
Okay, so it really was. It was in all four of us picked the Seahawks, and I said I thought it was going to be a blowout, and it was a blowout. Again, 29-13, not even as close as we think. Dave, what were you happy about as far as the game is concerned? Was there something you took away going, okay, I'm glad that happened?
You know what? Sam Darnold's had a tough road, right?
Yep.
So I think, and CJ is a USC guy, and so he's always pushing Seattle the entire time through.
Yeah.
You know, for Sam Darnold to even have the year he had the year before with the Vikings, and then they say, hey, we're going to let you go. We got a guy named J.J. McCarthy. We're going to let you go. And you see his road that he took, and everyone remembers the game when he played for the Jets and says, I see ghosts.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most embarrassing things of all time. I was happy for that. Overall, I'm not a fan of either team. I do hate the Patriots. I will tell you that straight out. I'm not a fan of the Patriots or anything Boston. I hate everything Boston sports. But the Patriots won, it wouldn't have ruined my day. It's not like I'm waking up in the morning, oh my gosh, Patriots won. Mm-hmm. But for Seattle, it was kind of one of those, the best team won. And they were dominating, and we talked about how great the NFC was, and they put on a heck of a show. Overall, you tip your hat to Coach McDonald and go, you know, good for you. Can you repeat next year? That's what they say. That's immediately. Can you do it again?
Allison, what'd you take away? Something that you're like, okay, you know that, I'm glad.
Again, Sam Darnold, I mean, how can you not cheer for that guy? 5 teams, he's just been shuffled around, and to win a Super Bowl and have that now part of his legacy, that's pretty special.
It's especially when Dave, you mentioned seeing the ghosts and other teams telling you, thanks for the, you know, holding the position or keeping the seat warm, but we're going to move on from you. And then going to Seattle, and you know, he gets to Seattle, he's probably thinking, oh my God, how much older am I than the head coach? Type of thing. But you get there and you see the Seattle team kind of round into shape like they did. That defense has been stellar all season long. I'm happy for Sam Darnold. Drake May just chose one of those days that he had a horrible football game.
Well, his offensive line did not help. I mean, that left side of the line is something they're going to have to address. The guard and the tackle on the left side, he has no protection. He was running for his life. And if they don't improve that somehow,
they're both rookies, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But with time or a different person in there, I don't know what they're going to do. But he was running for his life.
It was, you know, and to have your big offensive output come from Mac Hollins, who walking into the game dressed up as a prisoner, and it's like, hey Mac, come in bare feet to games, even in the snow. That's cute. Now you're like, you've had your 15 minutes. Just go back to being a normal, good NFL football player. So Jason Myers kicks 5 field goals. Kenneth Walker, 161 total yards. And I think the story, and correct me if I'm wrong, his father has a problem with crowds. I think that was the story. And it was the first time he has seen Kenneth Walker play.
Wow.
And Kenneth Walker delivers on the biggest stage. Did you think there should have been co-MVPs? Or they're not going to do that for now? Had the game ended up 15-0, you obviously have to give it to Jason Myers.
Yeah.
I thought there was a part of me, Dave, thinking, all right, we've had co-MVPs before.
No, for me, it was Walker was the guy. I mean, he was so good. Remember, he was also filling the role of the running back, Charbonnet, who wasn't there, and so he was tremendous. And here's a great story. All these guys have fantastic stories. It's so hard to get to the NFL, but the fact that here's a guy raised in Memphis that goes to Wake Forest, goes to Michigan State, and now he is with Seattle as arguably their best offensive threat. Just an incredible day for him. I always enjoy the storylines behind it, and everybody has one. You see it in the families. And,
big time.
You know, good for him, but I would have given an MVP to him.
Allison, you good with him?
I'm great with him. Great. I mean, he was probably the best player on the field that day. But Jason Myers, in addition to 5 field goals, 2 extra points, he scored 17 points.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good day, and didn't have any misses. And so I think also you could say Seattle defense. I mean, there could have been triple MVPs. Really.
Absolutely. When you think about how they literally shut down and dominated in this football game. And you know, Dave, we were talking before the show, that first pass Darnold throw, that was a flea's eyelash from being a pick 6.
The other way.
And it really could. And we have all seen Super Bowls where one big play happens and then it just starts the ball rolling. This game to me was disjointed. It never really got into any sort of a flow. And I don't know if we've seen enough Super Bowls. You can tell when guys are jittery, when guys are nervous. I think May fired a fastball on it, like a 6-yard out that went,
Yes.
so it's easy for us to armchair quarterback it because we've never been on that field in what you prepared your whole football life for.
Yeah, you're right, because it's the biggest stage. You're going to remember this game forever.
Yes.
And even though there've been 60 of them, for the people who are alive, for the ones you remember, you never forget them.
No.
And the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl a few years ago might have been the most boring one. This one, they rivaled that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
And last year wasn't all that great either.
No, it was a blowout the other way, but still,
Yeah.
it was Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Right.
All right, the TV ratings are in for the Super Bowl. How many eyes did NBC garner? How much of that was because of the halftime show? And could we see the dawn of dueling halftime shows? We'll discuss as we continue here on Offside Sports right after this. Offside Sports continues from the Loft 100 studios here in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Find their awesome lineup of portable speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. And as always, thank you to Harry Arnett, Mark Wahlberg, and everybody at Municipal for being the official wardrobe sponsor of Offside Sports. Municipal, bet on yourself. You can find them at municipal.com. All right, viewership is in. The numbers are in. And Allison, was it over 130 million people tuned into this dog-esque football game? That's what NBC is.
The final that I saw for Super Bowl was 127.7.
127.7 million. And the thing is, it's first off, if you're a politician running for office, if you can somehow be the one that pushes through the Monday after Super Bowl being a national holiday,
well, next year
you'll be a three-term
next year.
president.
He's right.
Next year it will be.
It's Valentine's Day,
And
and then it's President's Day
the
weekend.
next day.
Genius.
I'm
It
going to
is
get
done,
so
sir.
drunk next year. No, but everybody just goes nuts on Super Bowl Sunday. And the thing is, I think it's to the point now where it's like Christmas tree sales before Christmas. They're always going to do well. Whether you're paying attention to the Christmas tree or not, well, we need a Christmas tree, put it up at the corner. I think Super Bowl is always going to get big numbers because it's a gathering for a party. A lot of people love to get together. It's like our national holiday. And whether you're paying attention to the game or not, I think Super Bowls will continue. Now, 127 million? But maybe it would have been higher, Dave, had this game been close.
I don't know. Again, it's the Super Bowl. Right? It's different than any other sporting event. It's such a big deal now worldwide. And, we talked about in baseball how there are 51 million people watching Game 7 of the World Series. Well, the Super Bowl blew it out of the water.
I know, that's crazy.
Right? I mean, it is really amazing to see what it is. And it's always become a thing since I was a little kid of the Super Bowl and what you're going to do and how you're going to watch it and how you're going to participate with friends or family or by yourself. 127 million is incredible, is absolutely incredible number, but it's almost worth saving your advertising budget for that 1 30-second ad.
Speaking of, $8 to $10 million for a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl.
I can only tell you one that stood out to me as far as the commercials. I didn't pay very much. I don't know why. They weren't grabbing me this year.
2 of them I can remember. The Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
And the Ring doorbell with the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
I think the Ring. I thought the Dunkin' one was stupid.
I didn't see the Dunkin' one.
It was a bunch of AI. Everything was AI this year. The Ring doorbell to find your dogs. The Budweiser with the eagle on the horse's back. I thought was phenomenal. And then the Bruce Arians and all the tight ends for prostate
That was good.
awareness.
I saw that one. And the hydration one with all the toilets. I thought that one was hysterical.
The rest, because the ad would come on and people and everybody at our party would say, "What's that about?" And then there was one that was like, "Jesus loves you," and we're like, "Whoa, that was a Jesus commercial." I thought it was a new AI platform. It was Jesus.ai. Whatever it was. Okay, a lot was being talked about Bad Bunny being the halftime show artist, and in this Super Bowl. And that even got better ratings, Allison, than the game itself.
135.4 million.
Yeah. And
almost 10 million more. Or
you
8
know,
million more.
what I thought was funny, not funny, but cool about the halftime show, I watched part of his, and then I turned over to Turning Point USA and watched the Kid Rock halftime show. But when he comes out of that little hut or whatever, and I stopped and I said, hey, is that Jessica Alba?
Yeah.
Dancing on the stage. And then you find out about how all the actors that did cameos in the Bad Bunny halftime show.
Ricky Martin was in there.
Ricky Martin
Lady
was on
Gaga.
there. Yeah, I thought that was a cool aspect of it. But 130, plus million people.
135 million.
For the halftime show. So that means they picked, what they picked up was amazing.
Well, only the second time ever in history that the halftime show did better than the game. And the other one was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have a graphic here. Allison's got a list of the top 5 halftime shows in the history of the National Football League and the Super Bowl. Michael Jackson, I believe, is there. So Bad Bunny, number 1 now with the bullet, 135.4 million. Kendrick Lamar was last year, I believe.
Yes,
Super Bowl. Okay. 133. Michael Jackson right there. I can't even tell you what Rihanna's halftime show was. I can't even remember it. And then the only reason I remember Katy Perry is because you had was it the 2 sharks on either side of her? And people, and the
Rihanna
one.
and Katy Perry were both in Phoenix. I was there.
Okay.
Rihanna was pregnant. That was a big deal. That Rihanna was pregnant.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
And
then
Kendrick Lamar, of course, went after Drake and his.
Okay.
So they said 2 Super Bowls in a row where it was a bad year for Drake.
So when you look at that top 5, and again, I can remember Michael Jackson. I remember Janet Jackson and the Nip Slip.
Of course.
I thought my personal favorite, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say up to this point, I loved Snoop and Dr. Dre and Eminem in Los Angeles for Rams Bengals. To me, they hit that out of the park, and it was so spot on what people wanted to see, because Snoop at that point was transcending all different cultures and barriers and stuff. Everybody loves him. And to me, that was a home run. Do you have a favorite?
All right, that is by far my favorite.
Is it really?
Not only is it by far my favorite, I still have it on my DVR. Like, I know you can watch it at any time on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I literally have it on my DVR. It plays at least once a week. I love every second of it. The only one missing for me was Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But I thought that was by far, for me, where I grew up and the music I like. And
it was the West Coast hip hop rap.
Being from Los Angeles, that was by far, Mike, my favorite one. Nothing's even close.
It's funny you mention that, Dave, because, Allison, you mentioned hip hop in Los Angeles and kind of that music culture, but you had people worldwide who knew every single artist who came on that stage and what they were all about, what their backgrounds were all about. Even when Snoop started crip walking during his song, everybody was just like, I get it. I know what's happening here. And I think that going back to the Bad Bunny, and he sung beautifully in Spanish. But I think there was a disconnect because it wasn't in English for a lot of people. They were just kind of going, okay, the choreography's good, the set's good, and stuff like that. Maybe more people would have tuned in had he been singing in English, but that's water under the bridge. What's your favorite?
I love that one too, and I had kind of didn't think about it initially yesterday when I was thinking about this. I loved that one. One of the things I loved about it is that there were so many artists in it, instead of just focusing on one person and people being like, I don't like that person, or I don't like this. So fun. You had such a wide variety. I mean, kind of all from the same culture, but it was such a fun show. And then my other one is Prince. I personally just love him. I loved that show. I thought he was phenomenal. And I thought the Rolling Stones were fun too. So those are probably my top 3.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And Bad Bunny would go up there too. I liked the message behind it, whether you understood the words or not. I thought the message of
unity,
love is what wins over hate every time.
Wins over hate.
I like that message. I mean, that's just reality of life.
I go back to Super Bowl 11. I was at Super Bowl 11 as a kid because my uncle was coach on the Raiders. Our halftime show was, it was Disney. It was Mickey Mouse on the field, and everybody had different color placards in their hand. And at certain points, Mickey would hold up a green placard, and you'd hold up a green placard, and the stadium just kind of changed colors. And then they made the stadium red, white, and blue. Yeah, that was our halftime show.
That was it at the Rose Bowl. Better than the Jack Russell Terrier chasing down the Frisbees. Good Lord.
And I'm one who's always said, give me up with people and the Frisbee dog, and I am happy as far as the halftime show. What did you guys make of Charlie Puth and
Charlie Puth.
Oh, that guy. And what's her name?
Amazing.
Brandy.
Brandy Carlisle. What's her name from the Go-Go's? How do you not know her name?
That's
Yes, that's Brandy Carlisle from the Go-Go's.
That is?
Yes.
Oh my God, I was looking at her going, you look so, but no friggin' way.
Yes, I thought she was amazing, and I thought Charlie Puth was outstanding. I like them both. I mean, is he my favorite of all time? No, I have a favorite. I thought Chris Stapleton with his solo guitar doing the national anthem that year still gives me goosebumps. I loved it so much.
Dave, what'd you think?
But I thought Puth was great.
It was good. First of all, the games on NBC look better than anywhere else.
Why
I don't know why. I have no idea, but it is. You can say whatever you want, but it's like everything that might be in 4K. NBC's figured out a way 12K. I don't even know if it exists. But the games on NBC just always look better. Sunday Night Football looks better. Just always looks better.
Is it the camera lenses they use? Because Dave, I'm telling you right now, CBS looks different from Fox.
Yep.
Fox looks different from NBC.
Yep.
NBC looks different from ESPN.
You're right. I don't know enough about TV, how it works that way. My one complaint, honestly, is Tom Brady's overexposed. Like, it wasn't even on Fox. When the games in Santa Clara were supposed to be in San Francisco, and they bring out the 49er greats, and here comes Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. And all of a sudden, here comes Tom Brady? What year did he play on the Niners? Just because you're born in San Francisco, you're on the stage wearing the Letterman's jacket? Tom, you got 3 kids. Pay attention.
All right, is it too early to talk Super Bowl 61? Who we think will make it 364 days from now? And how much money will franchises be worth by the time the game kicks off? We'll tell you next. Don't go anywhere as Offside Sports continues. Offside Sports rolls on from the Loft 100 studios here in Southern California, brought to you by Turtlebox Audio. Find them at turtleboxaudio.com. This portion of the show presented by Bebemos Tequila, made for those who chase the sun. Find your bottle at WeDrinkTequila.com. What were you guys drinking on Super Bowl Sunday?
I'll be honest with you. I was drinking not beer, not any alcohol. I found root beer. That was it. I haven't had a root beer in 10 years. From how I found it, it was in my refrigerator. I was like, who bought this? Literally, Mike, it was one of the first times I've watched the Super Bowl by myself. And the reason is I was so into the NFL season. I always am.
Yeah.
But I watched every game this year. And that sounds crazy to say. I watched every single game this year, and I wanted to hear the announcers. I wanted to take it in. I wanted to take in the halftime show.
Yep.
I knew we would talk about it here. I didn't want to miss anything. I've been to too many parties where I'm the guy stuck without a chair, sitting on the fireplace, doing this move, looking at the TV from the corner of my eye, going, I hate being here. And there's always somebody there in the room that says, man, I'm here only for the commercials. And I'm like, get out. You have a better seat than me. And then I have the person that wants to outdo the guy with the 11-layer dip, if that even exists. Like, how many layers we sticking in this dip? Is this Jell-O? What's in this? What's one of these layers?
I am right there with you.
So, Mike, mine was very boring when you talk about entertainment factor, but I took in the entire game with no interruptions.
I'm right there with you. I do not love Super Bowl parties for that reason. I feel like in general, I'm not shading women, but in general, the women all gather in the kitchen or getting the food and talking.
Where they belong.
Don't care about, do not care about the sports. I love sports. I love football.
Yep.
I want to watch the game, so I don't go to them anymore.
I'm with you. We went to a Super Bowl party, and you know, when one of the little sniveling brats comes up and says, "Will you play Uno with me?" I'm just like, "Get out of here!" And I obviously I didn't kick the little girl, but I just said, "No, I'm not going to play. I'm not playing Uno right now." But I'm the same way. I am just like alone by myself, and I'll make dip or I'll whatever. Yeah. I'll have a root beer with Dave Palet. To me, it sounds like heaven. Or if you're with a small group where everyone's comfortable.
No more than 6.
Yeah,
I think six is the number.
magic
Yeah,
number.
if like my sons are there, that's great for me.
I'm with
and
you.
And their girlfriends or whatever, that's great.
Yeah.
But it has to be a group that wants to really be invested in watching the game.
But Allison, are you that person, because I know you do a ton of research, are you that person in the room that has to give a bio on every person that touches the ball, even though people don't ask for their backstory?
Only if it's a really good emotional heartstring
everyone's
story.
an
I might
emotional
tell
story.
it. I know.
I just don't know if you're the one when you go to the bathroom and someone's like, gotta tell her.
No, I don't talk very much
Okay.
during games. Like I oftentimes even put on Do Not Disturb on my phone. Now I didn't for you. You were texting me a little bit.
Yeah.
But I try and keep it
Good.
pretty quiet.
Who do you guys, off the top of your head, think is the #1 team odds to get back? To go to Super Bowl 61 in Los Angeles.
To go and win it?
To go, favored. I guess it's
Okay.
favored to win it.
Well, to me, the craziest thing is if you're a Broncos fan, you had to be losing your mind watching that game going, we would have put on a better show if we had our quarterback.
Possibly.
But if you're a Rams fan, I keep thinking all you need to do is catch one punt. If you would have caught the punt, you're in the Super Bowl and you're winning the Super Bowl.
Stafford said after the game, this Super Bowl was a layup.
It was a layup. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And time's running out in his career.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to go right back to the Rams.
Allison, who do you think?
I think I think this is more who I hope,
Yeah.
who I would love to see finally get there, and that would be Josh Allen and the Bills, and Jared Goff and the
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's who I'm hoping for. We'll see.
Seahawks and Rams are both tied at plus 950. You're going to bet to get back to the go to the Super Bowl. Bills, then Eagles, Pats at 1,300, Ravens at 1,300. Then you got the Packers, Lions at 1,400, Chargers, Chiefs at plus 1,500. That's because Mahomes is going to be out for much of the season. And then you got the 49ers.
He's coming back now in September. Now that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they have a lot of holes. I mean, here's the deal with the Patriots. You say, as far as getting back, they could. They have a ton of money to spend, right? The Cowboys now, they said they're going to tag George Pickens. So you have to get rid of one of those wide receivers.
Yep.
So imagine if CeeDee Lamb all of a sudden is available to go to the Patriots.
And sometimes, Dave, I think my own personal opinion is I think we're right now, knowing nothing, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. Who do you say? Rams and
I'm going to go completely crazy here. I'm going to go all LA. I'm going to go SoFi Stadium, going Rams, going Chargers, and
the world
That would
wants
be
it.
wild.
The world wants
crazy
it.
as can be.
The world wants it.
It'd
I
be
love
nuts,
it.
right?
Allison, who do you think? Just off the top of your head, just call your shot.
Well, Bills, Detroit. That's what I
Bills.
just said.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bills, Detroit.
Yeah.
All right. When you look at what the Seattle has, there's really maybe a plug and play here and there.
Yeah.
Patriots, though, and as we have all heard NFL coaches talk about, Dan Marino thought I was going to get back a bunch of times, never made it back.
So hard to get back. That's
It's
the thing.
so friggin' hard to
So
get
hard.
back. And is part of it the fact that, we talked before the show here, we talk about a layup. Look at the layup the Patriots had this year and the teams they played and then who they played, quarterbacks they played against
Exactly
in the playoffs.
right. Yeah, I mean, you're facing guys like Quinn Ewers.
Right.
And Tua, and you know what I mean. You're going against guys like that, and Bo Nix is backup all of a sudden. It's you don't know how it's going to break down, but yeah, it is very hard. There's a lot of luck that goes into this. How many people before the season started picked the Detroit Lions to be in the Super Bowl?
A bunch.
And then the Lions,
Just disintegrate.
Well, and when you look at, you just can't predict the injuries.
Exactly.
It's tough. I think too, like we were saying, it's so hard to get back for any team. I don't know. I don't necessarily. The Patriots also have a much more difficult schedule than they did this year.
They will in
26.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's definitely.
So that we talked about a spot in the Super Bowl, 32nd spot between $8 and $10 million. That's how much NBC and the league were getting. The NFL is so healthy right now as far as the financial growth, peak health of the league. Franchises are going to in 2026, or by the time the Super Bowl rolls around next year, are going to average $7.1 billion as far as their valuation's concerned. And this is a league that has, their CTE and what's happening with players' health, and we know what happened with players off the field and continuing to get in trouble, and things like that. And Dave, I don't want to say they are Teflon, but they have weathered so many storms, and it just gets more and more popular.
More and more popular. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. It's the greatest thing going. It's like watching the movie Gladiator. You're sitting in the crowd and you're watching people down on the field, and bad things are going to happen, but guess what? I'm coming back again. And none of that affects me as a viewer. It doesn't matter to me. A couple of years ago, they tried to organize a boycott in Indianapolis where the vice president walked out. We're going to make a political statement. Politics aren't as big as the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL right now is the biggest thing going and is growing worldwide. Just the halftime show was great for the NFL.
Yeah.
People were talking about it. And if they could figure out a way union-wise to put a team in London or Germany full-time.
9 international games in 26.
And the deal is you just don't want to have, let's say, Mike, you got drafted by Jacksonville and the Jags now play in London.
Right.
Your mom and dad aren't going to be able to come to the game. Your kids aren't going to, it becomes a hassle. So that's where the union's going to push back. But otherwise, as Allison, they can make it work. And the goal is to have one team play an international game every single year.
I think, we talk about that, how you're going to entice, because Roger Goodell wants a full slate of games in somewhere, Mexico, Europe. He wants that. He said one of the things he talks about is that part of his legacy, he wants it to be officially the worldwide sport. The logistics of that happening are, I think, slim and none. And Slim just walked out the door.
You need a lot more bye weeks.
You need a lot more bye weeks, and I think you have to offer something to the players' union, the players' reps, something like universal health care for life from the point that you retire, or a much better way of taking care of them, or doing a much better job as far as pensions are concerned and things like that. Because as we know, you add more games, or you're going to add more risks to these players. Do you think we'll get to the point we've got 16 or 18 games across the ponds, as they say?
I think you will. I think you're right on the money with this thing. So if you look at the salary cap right now, there are 53 guys on a roster, or 48 dress on game day, but really only 6 guys per roster get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, paid like life-changing money. So only 6 out of 53. That's where the Players Association needs to figure it out and learn how to fight for themselves.
Allison, you think it's going to be sooner or later we see all those games not here in the United States?
Yeah, I mean, just look how much it's grown just in the past few years, and now we're at 9 games this year for 26. 9's a lot, and it's a lot to ask those players to travel all that way. They're not out sightseeing. They literally go to their hotel, practice, and play, and get back on the plane and come back. And I don't know. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot to ask for fans to give up a home game. It's a lot. Yeah, but it will grow.
That's the part that really stinks.
Yep.
If it's your team that's playing. All right, are you going to Super Bowl 61 in Los Angeles next year? Get ready to either sell your firstborn or take out a second mortgage to go. We'll explain why next as Offside Sports rolls on right after this. Our final segment here on Offside Sports, brought to you by Turtle Box Audio. Live free, listen louder. Find their amazing lineup of outdoor Bluetooth speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. Big thank you always to Paul Teron, everybody at 84 Lumber down in No Time Mesa, California. They supplied us with the building materials for our brand new set. Reach out to Paul for all your building questions and needs. Paul.Teron at 84lumber.com. I mentioned that I went to Super Bowl 11.
Yeah.
As a kid, 6th grader, walking in Pasadena, my dad and my brother and myself, and we were on my uncle's bus, so it was big extended family. I walk in the game, my brother and I say, Dad, please, can we get a pennant? Can we get a pennant? The triangular felt pennants. And so my dad walks up to the concession stand and he says, how much for 2 pennants? He goes, well, they're $5 each. And I remember my dad, $5! And we, my brother and I are cowering like, oh my God, we're not going to get it, Pete. We're not going to get it. And he goes, okay, give me 2. So, and this thing now is worth like $600 on eBay because it's an original Super Bowl 11 pennant. $5 for the pennant, which now runs about 100 and something bucks on, the website you go to for the Super Bowl.
Have the guts to ask for a foam finger?
I don't think they had foam fingers yet.
No, they were awesome.
No, they still had the foam visors with the little string like Vince Lombardi wore at the first Super Bowl or first World Championship. Is it safe to say, would you guys agree that the Super Bowl is no longer for the average fan?
Sports is not for the average fan. Straight out isn't. Sports is not for the average fan. I mean, I can see every NFL game throughout the year by not going to one game in person. You know, and it's not. The NFL is so much better on TV. I mean, we talked about NBC, but it's great on every network. Who are we kidding?
Yep.
I like the replays. I like the yellow line. I like everything about what TV is when it comes to the NFL.
You love a clean bathroom?
I love a clean bathroom. I like no lines, right?
Clean refrigerator with your root
Oh my
beer.
gosh, everything about it. I do. I like not having to stand up every time someone wants to leave to go to the bathroom. But I went to an NFL game this year, and you know what? It was one of those I said I'll do it once a year. But I will say this, for me, the Super Bowl is different. If you have not been to a Super Bowl, I recommend going to at least one of them.
Yeah.
It is a show. Every time I've gone, I've been to 5, and every time I've said, this is worth it. And it's for, you know, the different acts. I mean, I've seen Beyonce, but I've also seen Amy Grant. You know what I mean? I've seen good ones, I've seen bad ones. But it is one of those things in your lifetime. I recommend going to the Super Bowl if you get an opportunity.
Allison, if your football team makes it, are you going to go? Are you going to? Because the average price for the Super Bowl ticket this year was about $3,300, and that was we're talking nosebleeds at Levi.
Mm-hmm. I've been to. I was thinking if I've been to 3 or 4. I've been to 4.
Okay.
You know, it's a great experience. I agree. Everybody should have the opportunity to go once, especially if it's a team you love.
Yep.
And I think even regular season games can be very fun if you're going to do like the whole tailgating thing and you're with your favorite people.
You make a day of it.
Yes, once in a while that can be fun. But I am with you. I want to watch from the comfort of my home. I like the replays, even things like the halftime show where you're seeing it from so many different angles, from the sky, from the, you know, and the game too, the cameras overhead and all of that is very, you get a bigger picture than when you're just there seeing all of that or looking up at a Jumbotron because you can't see the field.
Yeah. Our Super Bowl tickets for Super Bowl 11 were $40.
It's amazing.
Oh.
$40. You could walk up to the first one in LA the day of the game between the Packers and the Chiefs and get in for $6.
Yep.
So it just goes to show you, obviously, as prices get higher and prices go up. Okay, average hotel room was about $450 a night, and that's from the San Francisco all the way down to Santa Clara and the outlying areas. Dave, you wanted a Super Bowl 60 snapback hat, $45.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I don't even think that sounds high, really.
No, because
you
look at fitted caps and how much they cost you at baseball parks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? Mike and I were at Super Bowl 50 together in San Francisco also, and I remember thinking the hotel we were in wasn't that great.
No, it was a dump.
And guess what? Joe Theismann had the room next to us. I was like, wait a second,
right.
I won MVP at one of these games.
That's
and he has the room
exactly
next to us.
right.
And I was like, this is awful.
Okay,
like,
and
you get to leave your room to change your mind. It was so small.
If you got hungry at the game, this is some of the concession prices. They had the LX Hammerburger, was a giant braised bone-in beef shank burger designed to serve 4 people. That was $180. Okay, not too shabby. For $40, you could get Dungeness crab potachos. Was like Dungeness crab on French fries. That was their version of nachos. $35 for a Gilroy garlic steak frites. It was fries with some hanger steak and garlic on it. For $30, there was the San Fran sticky roll for dessert. Cinnamon roll dessert with white chocolate and cotton candy clouds. You can get a Chinatown dog for $20. And then you could get like a Polish dog for $11, chicken tenders and fries $13. Not too shabby. That's almost like concessions at.
That all sounds very normal to me.
$22 for a premium beer at the game.
That doesn't seem crazy. Let me
No.
tell you, garlic fries has ruined sporting events, by the way.
Oh.
It has completely ruined the smell of
smell?
every decent ballpark and stadium. I don't know
The
what.
San Francisco Giants, I mean, that's like their
Oh my
main
gosh.
thing.
I
It
know.
is.
They have them almost in every stadium now.
Yeah.
You're like, another person ordered the garlic fries.
Now we saw it, we saw a lot of the celebrities and stuff in suites at Levi Stadium and rubbing elbows and whooping it up and stuff. And so I looked up and I found like, okay, if I'm going to have my suite at the stadium, which the cheapest one was $600,000 for the suite, and that's not even to mention the food that I'm going to serve you guys in my suite. So I go, Allison's coming, so I want to give her something healthy. So I'm just going to get an assortment of chopped fruit on a plate, $175
Wow.
for that platter of fruit for Allison. Never say that I don't love you.
You better finish
You
all of
better eat all of it.
figured
I don't care if it
that's
gives you
what
the
I'd go
runs
for.
or not. I know that Dave loves hot dogs and
do.
Polish dogs. For 12 beautiful hot dogs, Polish dogs with buns.
Just the amount of money, Mike, what you just said, the price of the suite, shows me that these teams are worth a lot more than $7 billion, by the way.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? When these teams come up for sale, and Seattle's one of them coming up for sale,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're going to go for more than $10 million, $10 billion. There are a bunch of billionaires out there that all of a sudden will pay up. Look what the Lakers just went for.
Oh, I know.
Almost double the price of what they thought they were going to get.
And the thing is, Allison, back to the point about is the Super Bowl for the average fans or not. These are all corporations that are buying up
for sure.
all of these suites. These are all the big advertisers for the NFL. It's all a massive write-off for them. And I don't know, like if I were to take my mom to a suite for a Super Bowl, she would still be today talking about, God, remember how good that whatever was in the suite? Their chili was fantastic. She would still be talking about that and not the game, where most people are just kind of like, the food was good, it's cool, got hammered, watched a great game.
People are entertaining clients. Like that's
Exactly what it is.
they're using it for,
Yeah.
really.
And it'd be interesting to see how many people actually paid attention to the game on the field when you're sitting in that type of luxury.
And funny, going to have it in California again in 27.
I mean, have you guys seen the new
Years
logo?
in a row.
I have seen the
Pretty
new
good.
logo. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I've seen the
Yeah.
new logo. My most interesting experience, by the way, at Super Bowl, I was the Raiders-Buccaneers Super Bowl. It was a horrible
Okay,
Super Bowl.
do we have to talk about this?
But Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes sat next to me, and
Dave, why is it always so hot in San
you
Diego?
see what he just did? So I literally started doing impressions of him, and I don't do impressions of anybody, but I was so bored.
Yep.
And he looked me right in the face and said, stop. He goes, you know how many people do impressions of me? And they all do them better than you. And he dropped a couple swear words at me. And now I was just miserable the rest of the way. Like I had nothing to do. I just wanted out.
I was on the field for that game. You think about how crushed I was to have to sit there for 4 hours watching that. All right, we're going to move into our bets of the game. Who are we going to bet on this week in the world of sports? The bet of the show, presented by our friends at Owner's Box Daily Fantasy. You can sign up at ownersbox.com with our code word Offside, or download the Owner's Box app. So easy to do. We all have done it. And sign up and use the code Offside. Click on ownersbox.com and start playing today. I lost my Owner's Box fantasy bet from the Super Bowl. I had Hunter Henry going over 3 receptions. Only had 3 in the game. Did you lose yours?
I lost mine, really disappointed in JSN. I'm sorry he got hurt, but I was to the point like, are you going in or not going in?
Yeah.
Because they said he thought he had concussion. And then when he came back in the game, I was like, this guy, what happened here? Like I lost on JSN, and I was like, he better be at home answering the iron when the phone rings, because I don't think he's really hurt. Like I'm really upset.
He is a slacker. Allison, did you win or lose yours?
I won. I had Drake May to have more than half a yard.
Amazing stuff. All right, as we put a lid on this episode of Offside Sports, a massive thank you to everybody here at the Loft 100 Studios for making this show possible. Thanks to Turtlebox Audio, Municipal Clothing, Bebemos Tequila, Chase the Sun at WeDrinkTequila.com, 84 Lumber for their support and partnership, and Turf & Sons for the surface of our brand new stage. Click on turfandsons.com today. And most of all, thanks to you for hanging out with us. For Dave Palet, Allison Ratzlaff, I'm Mike Costa. We'll see you next time.